अन्तिम सत्य नमः शिवाय अगणित नामा नमः शिवाय अघनिर्मूल नमः शिवाय अमितानन्द नमः शिवाय अविनाशाद्य नमः शिवाय आगम विनुत नमः शिवाय आत्मोल्लास नमः शिवाय आद्य कवीश नमः शिवाय आपच्छेद नमः शिवाय आमय भेद नमः शिवाय आर्तसुबन्धो नमः शिवाय उज्ज्वलगात्र नमः शिवाय ओंकारतल शिवाय करुणापाद नमः शिवाय कर्माध्यक्ष नमः शिवाय कांशारहित नमः शिवाय कामितवरदा नमः शिवाय कालाबाध्य नमः शिवाय गुणमणिहारा नमः शिवाय धननिस्सीमा नमः शिवाय चिद्घनरूपा नमः शिवाय चिद्रूपाङ्गा नमः शिवाय चिरचिन्मात्रा नमः शिवाय चिरसुखसारा नमः शिवाय जगदाधारा नमः शिवाय जन्मविदूरा नमः शिवाय ज्ञानजलनिधे नमः शिवाय ज्योतिर्पुञ्जा नमः शिवाय आहारा नमः शिवाय तुर्यातीता नमः शिवाय त्रिजगन्मूला नमः शिवाय त्रैमलशूरा नमः शिवाय दीनसुरकुचा नमः शिवाय दुःखध्वंसा नमः शिवाय दोषविभङ्गा नमः शिवाय धर्मसपर्शा नमः शिवाय भक्तजनपाला नमः शिवाय नयनिर्लेपा नमः शिवाय नागशरीरा नमः शिवाय निगमाधेया नमः शिवाय निजनिश्चिन्ता नमः शिवाय निजसुखभरिता नमः शिवाय नित्यविनोद्ना नमः शिवाय नित्यविमुक्ता नियति नियन्त नमः शिवाय निरवत्य विभो नमः शिवाय निरहङ्कारा नमः शिवाय निरतोत्साहा नमः शिवाय निरुपममहितं नमः शिवाय निरुपाधिघना नमः शिवाय निर्गुणसिन्धो नमः शिवाय निर्जरवन्द्या नमः शिवाय निर्जितमोहा नमः शिवाय निर्मलचित्ता नमः शिवाय परमपवित्रा नमः शिवाय Tunga Namah Shivaya Paripurnaka Namah Shivaya Patakadamana Namah Shivaya Pashavinasha Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Pranavakara Namah Shivaya Madhashonya Namah Shivaya Buddhivigamya Namah Shivaya Vaindavarupa Namah Shivaya Bhakta Subhritya Namah Shivaya Bhadra Vishesha Namah Shivaya Bhava Bhayakana Namah Shivaya Bhuvanodhara Namah Shivaya Mangaladhaman Namah Shivaya Mantrayama Namah Shivaya Mahima Vilo Anakirita Namah Shivaya Mulijanamanya Namah Shivaya Mokshopaya Namah Shivaya Yatipulanamya Namah Yadijanaya Namah Shivaya Leelamurte Namah Shivaya Lokasuraksha Namah Shivaya Parayogisha Namah Shivaya Varnasadhya Namah Shivaya Vighnavighata Namah Shivaya Vidyasadhana Namah Shivaya Vimalagunadhya Namah Shivaya Vishwaradhya Namah Shivaya Sharanadhina Namah Shivaya Shantadara Namah Shivaya Shashvata Satya Namah Shivaya Shubhabhandara Namah Shivaya Shokatripave Namah Shivaya Santatatruta Namah Shivaya Santa Namah Shivaya Santoshamaya Namah Shivaya Samstuti Patra Namah Shivaya Sajjana Poshaka Namah Shivaya Sadamana Puja Namah Shivaya Sadgunashila Namah Shivaya Satrupanga Namah Shivaya Sarasamoda Namah Shivaya Sarvashubhakara Namah Shivaya Sarvadhara Namah Shivaya Sadhu Jananata Namah Shivaya Sukhawarinidhe Namah Shivaya Sugunatishaya Namah Shivaya Sujnanivara Namah Shivaya Saundaryatithe Namah Shivaya Saukhya Samudra Namah Shivaya Soumya Sharanidhe Namah Shivaya Hridaya Vasa Namah Shivaya Hridaya Vasa Namah Shivaya Hridaya Vasa Namah Shivaya पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः
Let me offer my pranams to all of you. Very beautiful place we are sitting in, where there is coolness, where there is freshness and beauty. That is the best place we can enjoy it. Such is this place. Very comfortably you are sitting. Your mind is calm and quiet. Very wonderful place, isn't it? And we are going to think about the life, about the world, and also we want to recall the great sayings of the great saints. You have heard about the Upanishads, very old treatises, great spiritual treatises, very old. And they were the words of saints and seers of India and also of the Greek, Roman, Chinese philosophers. Very wonderful words they have uttered about the world, about ourselves. There is one Upanishad, the Katha, very beautiful, very wonderful Upanishad. There it is said, O Shariram Sharir Anavastheshu Avasthitam Mahantam Vipumatmanam Matva Dhiraha Nashuchad. Very beautiful saying it is. Very beautiful. Ashariram sharireshu navasthitam. Ashariram sharireshu avasthitam. Sharira means this body. The body is very beautiful. We love it very much. And it is so very active, dynamic, and can live and work for years and years. Such is the body. It can move, it can work, it can enjoy the great nature whatever is needed to live a beautiful life is there always. Hands are needed and build our life beautifully. We can't work and enrich our life if we have no hands. And there is the heart which beats always. Not one day or the two, but all our life. It keeps beating and beating, no resting. And on this beating activity, our life depends. Very wonderful creation this body is, and it is the creation of the great nature. Everyone is blessed because of this body, because you can see. Without a body, you cannot live. You can't see and hear and enjoy the life. That's why body is a very wonderful creation of what? Not yours, but of the nature. The nature. He says, Ashariram sharireshu anavastheshu vyava. Anavastha means it doesn't remain the same even for 2 moments. This body, every moment it goes on changing. Even for 2 seconds it cannot remain the same, remain without working or changing. Such is the nature of the body, not only of the body, but of all the things of the world. Is there a single object in this world which does not change, which doesn't change? No. Your thoughts are changing, your feelings are changing, your whole body is changing. Is there anything in this world? The sun is changing, moon is changing. Just imagine if there is any such thing which does not change even for 2 seconds. Impossible. Everything changes. Therefore, this world is called Jagat. Jagat means that which changes. Jagat is not static. It is not permanent. It is always changing and flowing in the river of time. Everything that is there on the world, in the world, changes every moment. We are in this world. Therefore, we cannot expect eternity to our body. No, that is impossible. You may do anything, take medicines or do penances or pray to God and gods, but you cannot have your body made eternal. That is an impossibility in this world. That is an impossibility. Not only that, not even for 2 seconds you stop the body change from changing. That is impossible. The wind is blowing, the leaves are fluttering. If the wind is blowing, the leaves have to flutter. They cannot stand still. In the same way, if the tide is blowing, every body has to change, every object has to change. Time is the wind blowing all the time. You cannot stop it. This wind may stop for some time, but the wind of time can't be stopped by anybody, even for a second. Therefore, the whole world is changing and it is inevitable. You can't stop the world from changing. Why? Because the wind is blowing. The wind of time is blowing. And this time is everywhere, not just here, not just there, everywhere in this universe. Go to any place, to any corner of the universe, you find there the wind of time. Go to any place. Go to the sun, go to the stars, go to the different distant galaxies, go to any far. But there you find the time ticking. Very wonderful, isn't it? Everywhere the time flow is there. Therefore, man, this is the world that changes. Therefore, it is Jagat, Jam Gacchati, always, every moment it moves. Every second it moves. You cannot expect non-movement of the body, non-movement of the objects. The whole world is controlled by the flow of time. You cannot dream of living for billions and billions of years. Nothing can live here for that length of time. Not impossible, not possible. Therefore, man, this is Sharira. This body also is changing. This body is not permanent. It is a beautiful, very able to work for years and years. But unfortunately, one day or the other day, it goes out of hands. This is the nature of the world. Man know it. Ashariram. Sharireshu. In such bodies, there is one thing, there is an entity, a special entity, a wonderful entity, which does not change with the body. It doesn't. Everything changes here, but that doesn't change. What is that? Ashariram sharireshu anavasteshu avasthitam mahantam vibhum atmanam. Just see here, something is there within us. It doesn't change with the body. Within us, in this body itself, in the body that we see in this world, in all the bodies, what is happening? There is something there in this changing body, and it does not change. It doesn't change at all. Vyavasthitam. It is body does not remain the same, but there is something within the body that remains the same. That does not change at all. You cannot make it change with any amount of effort. No, it is not possible. Take, for example, the water is there. Water changes on the surface. Waves rise and fall, waves rise and fall. Waves rise and the waves fall, but water remains the same. Water doesn't change. H2O does not become H3O. It is not affected by the rising waves and falling waves. It is the least affected. The water. So also there is something in this world, in the body, which does not change doesn't change. What are the changes? There are some changes here. It comes into birth, it comes into life. That is a change. It lives for some time. That is a change. Then it goes out of existence. That is change. It has a beginning, it has a middle, and it has an end. This is the way the things change. This flower, for example, in the morning, how it was very fresh. Now it is not fresh. It is fading. The color is not fresh now. But in the morning, very beautiful colors. And these petals very, very lively. But now they are not lively. They are fading out. They are going out of existence. After some time, this flower will disappear. Will disappear. You won't find it again in the world. This is how the body changes. This is a flower, very beautiful in the beginning, isn't it? When you come into this world, how beautiful is the body. Everyone loves to see it. But later it becomes very young and strong, very strong. And it very stamina, much stamina it will have. But after some years, now strength goes out. Like this flower, it begins to fade slowly. The body begins to fade. The beauty of the young man won't be there in his old age. The beauty goes out, it fades out, color fades out, strength goes out, and later the form also disappears. This is what is happening to the body, but in this body itself, there is a shariram. There is something that does not change. In the changing body, ashariram sharireshu, in the changing bodies, anavastheshu, changing bodies, avasthitam, something is there, man, within this body. What is that something? It is ashariram. It is not sharira. It is not like this body. It is not like this body. How it is not limited like this body. Bodies have limitations, but there is something within the body which is not at all limited. Not at all limited. For example, suppose there is a circle or your house is there. Houses may be big or small. Big buildings you may build, but the space within the building does not change. The buildings may be changed, its colors may be changed, its shape may be changed, but the space within the building, you can't do anything with it. It doesn't change. You cannot change it. Try however much the space, it remains the same. Whether you are young or old, whether you are man or woman, whether you are beautiful or ugly, but the space within the building does not. It may be a palatial building, very magnificent, but the space within remains the same. Look into the two buildings. One is a royal building, the other one is a poor cottage. Cottage is a poor, and a building is very big and royal. But what about the space within these two structures? What about the space? Is it poor? Is it rich? Is it beautiful? Is it ugly? No. It is the same everywhere. The same everywhere. Why? It does not change. Body changes and your mind also changes. Mind changes. Now, before some minutes, your mind was thinking of something. Now it is calm and quiet. After some minutes, again it begins to think about your houses, your wealth, isn't it? About the world and everything. But now it is calm and quiet. And this is not permanent because mind keeps changing. Everybody's mind, not just the minds of the young people, but everyone's mind changes. Isn't it? Everyone's mind changes. Body changes, mind changes. Anavasteshu, they are changing. Anavastha means change. Avastha is not static, not permanent, not non-moving. It is always moving. Anavasteshu avasthitam, and there is something within your body which is, and this space is spiritual. As there is space within buildings, so there is a space within the body, and this space is not the material space, physical space. It is spiritual space. And this space does not change. You cannot bring about any changes in this space. Very wonderful space it is, and it has no boundaries. Anavasteshu avasthitam. It is there always, always there. Its color doesn't change because it has no color. It does not change in its shape because it has no shape. It has nothing. Only the things that have forms, they can change. If an object has color, color changes. Suppose if there is something which doesn't have any of the qualities perceivable, then how can you expect that object to change? Impossible. You may count the numbers. For example, you may count the numbers. 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 3, so on. Means the numbers increase and decrease. But what about the 0? 0 plus 0, 2 zeros? No. 0 minus 0, 0 doesn't go out. 0 minus 0 is 0. Whether you subtract or add, the 0 remains the same. It does not change. Try however much, but zero cannot be moved. You cannot make it change. Its value is its value, and its value cannot be increased or decreased. Value may be increased or decreased. If I add 3 to 4, it becomes 8. If I add 4 to 5, it becomes 9. If I take away 1 from 9, it becomes 8. But 0 is not affected. The body is like numbers, countable numbers. The body is like countable numbers. Some bodies are plus bodies, some bodies are minus. Minus means lean bodies. Plus means big fat bodies. Isn't it? They may be measured. They may be increased or decreased. But what about the Atman which is there within the body? Atman means that which whose presence is necessary for knowing the world. And knowing your own existence, that is Atman. You say you are there, you think that you are there, table is there, that is awareness. That is Atman. Awareness, a kind of light of a knowledge. Very wonderful thing it is. It is there within the body and it is there within all the bodies of the world. Not only living bodies, even in the material bodies, non-living objects, that Atman exists. That is the zero. And every number, counting number, begins with 0. 1, 2, 3, because there is a 0. If there is no 0, counting has no meaning. Isn't it a wonderful thing it is? Atman, without Atman, the body cannot live. Body cannot live. Body may live or may not live. Atman is not at all affected. Its existence is its existence, whether body is big or small, young or old. Very wonderful thing that is the space. He says, asharireshu anavasteshu avasthitam, sharireshu avasthitam, ashariram sharireshu avasthitam, anavasthitam. Mahantam vipum atmanam. How it is Mahanta. Mahanta means it has no boundaries. Mahan antaha yasya saha mahantaha. Anta means end. Take any object in this world, it has an end. There are 2 ends. The end beginning, here it begins, here it ends. Ends are there. Every object, big or small, every object has ends. But there is something which we call Atman, which has no ends. Atman begins here, Atman ends here. This doesn't happen because it has no boundaries. Mahantam. Vipum means where does it exist? Where it doesn't exist, it exists everywhere. Its existence is not limited to some place or time. Its existence is not limited to time and limited by time and space. it is timeless, and it is spaceless. Mahantam vibhum, it is vibhu. Visheshena bhavati iti vibhuhu. Mahan antaha yasya saha mahantaha. Mahantam vibhum. Atma, that is Atman. Atman simply means the substance knowing, conscious substance. Something that is always conscious of its own existence, of its own existence. That is Atman. Atati vyapati iti Atman. That which is everywhere, has no ends, no limits, temporal or spatial. That is the Atman. It is there in you, in me, in everybody. That is the Atman. Mahantam vibhum Atmanam Matva. If you know this, what happens? Na shochati. You need not worry about if the body changes. Because this part of you changes. And the real part of you does not. The real you do not change. The unreal you change. As a body, you are changing, and as Atman, you do not. Therefore, man, why do you worry about the changes that are taking place in your physical body? Why should you? Because the real you is there. The real you does not change at all. That is called the Atman. Very beautiful word, the Atman. Wonderful word, very simple. Atati vyapati iti Atman. It is everywhere. In all times, in the past, in the future, in the present, all the time it is there. Its existence is not affected by the flow of time. It is always there. But this body is like a leaf that flutters in the wind. In the flow of time, this body flutters. This body changes. This body changes. Now you are so beautiful. But after 100 years, no? You may live for thousands of years, but after that, the body goes out and its beauty fades out. That is what is happening in this world, because this world is not permanent. It is always changing. Let it change. Let it change. Even in change, there is a beauty. There is a happiness. Let us live in the body and enjoy the world. Let us forget the body and live for eternity. Live for eternity. That is the Atman. Na shochati. If you know this, you do not worry about anything. The body changes, and there is something which is not changing, and you are on the externally you are changing, but internally you are not changing. Think of the body, you change. Think of the soul, you do not. Therefore, don't worry, he says. Anyway, this body is to go, and Anyway, you are going to live forever. You are timeless existence. Wonderful, isn't it? Now you are rich and poor. But if there is no wealth, then there is no problem of being poor or rich, isn't it? You are you, and that does not depend upon its existence, it does not depend upon what you have. The real existence is always real. Its existence does not depend upon the existence of other things. The body's existence depends upon what? Food and water. If there is the scarcity of food and not availability of water, then the body dies. But Atman doesn't. For the existence of the Atman, nothing is needed. But for the existence of the body, the external world is needed. If you, all of you begin to hate me, then I cannot live in this world happily. But spiritually, anybody may hate me. That doesn't matter at all. There was Socrates. He was hated by everybody in Athens. The great rich people, they hated him. Young people loved him. And elders hated him. Young people loved him. But he never worried about it. He never worried about it. Even when he was given poison to drink, he drank it like water and milk and said, now I am going to be free from the material body, material covering. Very wonderful person he was. I am rich, not because there is wealth here. I am rich because I am not going to die. Whatever is to die, dies. Whatever is to live, lives on forever. And I know that Atman is going to live on forever. Therefore, Socrates never worried about anything. Even while he not milk, poisoned milk or poison, he was laughing and thinking. Because he said, I am getting freed from the changing body. Now I am entering into the domain of eternity. He smiled and went out. Very wonderful persons lived even in this country, such a people. Allama Prabhu, you know, very, very, very wonderful person he was. A great saint, a seer, great saint. He moved like the wind everywhere in this country. And he says, Kanaka, Kamini, Kanchana, Bhumi ninnadalla, Hema ninnadalla, Kamini. ಇವು ಮೂರು ಜಗಕ್ಕಿಕ್ಕಿದ ವಿಧಿ. ನಿನ್ನದೆಂಬುದು ಜ್ಞಾನರತ್ನ, ಅದನ್ನು ಕೆಡಗುಡದೆ ನೀನು ಅಲಂಕರಿಸಿದೆಯಾದಡೆ ನಿನ್ನಿಂದ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸಿರಿವಂತರೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ದ ರಿಚೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್. ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ. ಭೂಮಿ ನಿನ್ನದಲ್ಲ. ದಿಸ್ ಭೂಮಿ is there, land is there, Do you think it is yours? Not. Why? Even before you came into this world, this bhumi was there. This land was there. You did not create it. Even after you leave the body, this bhumi, this land will always be there. Its existence does not depend upon you, man. Bhumi ninnadalla, hema ninnadalla, wealth that is there in this world. Whatever is needed for living a beautiful life, that is wealth. That also is not yours. Because even before you came into this world, the wealth is there. All kinds of wealth is there. Food is there. Air is there. This is the wealth, natural. Wealth means that which makes our life rich. It is the beautiful sunlight. It is the wind. It is the earth. And it is wonderful nature on which our life depends. That is the wealth. This doesn't belong to you, man. The wealth is always there. You came into this world and then you said, this table belongs to me or this place belongs to me. Really speaking, nothing belongs to you. You have come later. Very recently you have come. Billions of years before this world came into existence. Not yours, man. Therefore he said, what is yours? Hema ninnadalla, bhumi ninnadalla. And these people, they don't belong to you. They are separate, you are separate, they are independent, you are independent. On them you do not depend, on you they do not depend. Don't worry, man, about this wealth external. Then what is to be done? Ninnadembudu jnanaratna. What is really yours? What is really yours? That must be inseparable from you. If there is something which can be separated from you, then that wealth cannot belong to you. That wealth cannot belong to you. The wealth that can't be separated from me, that is the real wealth. And jnana is there, awareness is there. That is my real wealth, that is your real wealth. You cannot be separated from that wealth. If this flower is the wealth, then it can be separated from me. You may take it away from me, this flower. Then what happens? I become poor. In this way, my awareness cannot be separated from me. Therefore, the real wealth is what? Awareness. Knowledge means knowing that I do exist. The sense of existence, the consciousness of existence, that is the wealth. That is my wealth. Consciousness, awareness, knowledge, the light of awareness. Very wonderful light it is. And that is I. Ninninda bittu sirivantarela. If you know this, then you will be the richest person in the world. Because nobody can touch you. Nobody can take your wealth. And this wealth is such that it never increases or decreases. It is there always. And Allama says, this is the real wealth you have, man. Adorn it. Adorn your body with yourself with this knowledge, not these what do you call ornaments. Do not make you rich and beautiful. It is the consciousness. Consciousness. That makes you rich and beautiful. Man, love the consciousness, live with the consciousness, and that is the way we have to live in this world. This is Allama. Bhumi ninnadalla, hema ninnadalla, kamini ninnavadalla, kamita ninnadalla, ninnadembudu Jnana Ratna, ever shining knowledge. Jnana Ratna, adanu kedagudade, don't forget it. Alankarishideyadade, if you enjoy it. Ninninda bittu sirivantare illa. Then you become very rich. Feel that you are the richest person in the whole world. Feel, because your wealth is wonderful wealth. Nobody can take it away from you. Nobody can ask for a share of it. Possible. You cannot give it to others. Others cannot take it from you. Take it from you. This is what Allama says. Men feel that you are richest. You are the richest persons in the world, not because of the money that is there in you, in your pockets, but because of the money that is within your self. That is a spiritual wealth. That is a wonderful wealth. The wealth that does not become exhausted, cannot be separated from you. That wealth man love and live in full consciousness of the presence of that great wealth man. That is how we have to live, said Allama. He said, Kamita ninnadalla, bhumi ninnadalla, hema ninnadalla, kamini ಅಥವಾ ಕಾಮಿತ ನಿನ್ನದಲ್ಲ. ಇವು ಮೂರು they belong to the world. ನಿನ್ನದೆಂಬುದು ಜ್ಞಾನರತ್ನ. ಅದನ್ನು ಕೆಡಗೂಡದೆ, for not forgetting it, not destroying, but not forgetting it. ನೀನು ಅಲಂಕರಿಸಿದೆಯಾದಡೆ, if you always are conscious of that wealth, ನಿನ್ನಿಂದ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸಿರಿವಂತರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. Then you become the richest man in the world. Man, don't live in this world being poor. Poverty is not a desirable thing. As our pockets are to be full, so our knowledge is to be full. Our knowledge means the knowledge of our own existence that must be full within us. That makes us a really rich man. Very wonderful, isn't it? Allama said the same thing, and great rishis also said the same thing. Socrates also said the same thing. Almost all the thinkers of the world, all the philosophers of the world, all the spiritual scientists of the world say the same thing because of truth. They know the truth. They know the truth. And they live the truth. Live in the truth. Live with the truth. And they are truth itself. Satyam. Satyam. I am Satya. That is what these two sayings, one of the Sharanas, another of the great rishis of the past centuries, and you are here. Probably some of you at least felt the truth of these two sayings. I am very, very happy that you came here, sat in the cool, comfortable shade of this great tree. Wonderful tree, isn't it? They say it is 200 years old. 200 years old. And we are very fortunate that it is there for us to give shelter and shade. Why why it lived for 200 years? Because it knew that such in the future, and they will sit here under this tree. Therefore, the tree decided to live for 200 years, isn't it? And also it knew that such a great saints come from Himalayan mountains. Let me wait for them for 200. Wonderful, isn't it? Again, you are going to come here on what day? Huh? Next Sunday, Sun's day, not Sunday, Sun's day, not a Yasoyan sun, Sun's day. Very wonderful is the sun, and his day is today. Therefore, you have to take a rest. Sun's day means rest day, very comfortable. And that doesn't mean taking rest, but what is to be done? Resting our mind. We have to take a rest. Mind. Mind should live comfortably, calmly, silently, serenely. That is how we have to live in this world. I am very grateful to you because you have come this Sunday in the midday, in the afternoon. It is it is time for resting after good meals. But now you are troubled, disturbed. You came here and enjoyed the coolness of this great tree. I am very happy that you are here, and I am expecting that you will be there again on Sunday. Sunday. And at whatever, this hour only, at whatever, 12, you come at 12, good. At this hour only, we will be coming Sunday. I am very, very grateful to all of you. You enjoyed not the sermon, but the cool wind and atmosphere here. Let you come again to enjoy the nature. Let me offer my pranams to all of you.